Welcome, welcome, welcome. We uh we are just about ready to kick off here. I'm gonna finish this last minute prep, and you guys get to see what we've been working on.
So, just to give everyone a heads up as to what we'll likely be going over with this AMA, we'll be showcasing the new auto strategies, probably doing like a walkthrough of how it works, giving everybody some tips and advice on how to utilize the protocol, the product, and then just answering any and all questions, probably going into what the next steps are for us as a project where our development is now going to start focusing on. I know that there's some things that we can do for the auto strategies in terms of making some improvements, just like UI things like that, just additional little features that we wouldn't necessarily care to make sure is available on launch day, but we can always pretty things up and add even more, right? Um, but we'll definitely be shifting focus to our ETF Pro platform in terms of the large brunt of development now, and then like gearing up to launch that too as soon as we can.
Okay. We are ready to launch. In fact, we are already live. um, so boy, lots going on, and we appreciate everyone being super patient as we put these out. I know it was a trying time for some of you. We trust me, it was not for a lack of effort. We have been just the whole team has been really grinding over these, and it's very important that we get it perfect, right? So, like I said, we just appreciate the patience. As of right this second, we are officially live. Feel free to go ahead and pop in there. I left some links in the announcement channel for you guys. There's some new docs out that will probably get updated shortly. Um, Obviously, the app link, um, as well as our audit, which was successfully passed. So, um, yeah, Coffee Lake, yeah, we are good to go here. You're welcome to start zapping in, or you can kind of sit with me here for a little bit. I'll walk you through kind of some of the specifics and kind of show you how to use it. But yeah, we are good to go. You're ready to start zapping, buddy. That's right, Coffee. You've been waiting for a minute now to zap in. So why don't you just go nuts, man? Um, so where to begin? Well, give me a second here. Maybe I'll do some screen sharing with you guys.
You guys will also notice that we've rehauled the main landing page of the website. So now we have the TVL, the Treasury, Protocol on Liquidity. We're advertising the dexVAULTS release and dexFAT.
Yeah, that's correct. We got a fresh new look. All right, so let's reload this here. Okay, so let's just jump right in. So the dexVAULTS menu item is now in the main menu here. That's how you would access it. You can take a quick look. Oh, we have our home page. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's just give a quick overview here. Like I said, we updated the homepage a little bit sleeker design. Really wanted to focus on the vaults here and kind of push new traffic into the vaults. So, added some sections here, right? You can also get to the page through that link, right? So with the strategies, we have two different types, right? There's the flexible strategies, which will allow you to basically set all of your own individual allocations. You can also take profit there with the flexible strategies. And we have the fixed strategies. Fixed strategies are basically predefined allocations, conservative, balanced, and aggressive. Essentially, the more allocation in the U.S. DEX LP you are, the more conservative it's going to be um, because it's a safer investment. Same thing with the flexible strategies. You'll notice here's our little risk meter on all of them. Obviously, these are going to be predefined risk levels, but it's based off the same principles, right? So, if you're adding more of the U.S. DEX LP, your risk is going to go down. If you're taking away less of it, your risk is going to go up. And essentially, here's your profit slider, and here's your allocations, right? So each of you have to figure out exactly what strategy you want to be in first, what risk level you want to be in, as well as how much you're going to put into these strategies. I know one of the big questions that has been asked was what's the minimum for a flexible strategy. We actually have some really great news for you. Our dev team, which by the way, I can't thank enough. Our team has just been working incredibly long hours to get this done for you guys. And they actually pulled out a really special surprise here for you guys. We have came up with a solution essentially that will allow anybody who wants to be in a flex strategy to get into a flex strategy. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. Basically, the rule of thumb is, right, you wouldn't want to be in a flexible strategy if the amount you're compounding each day doesn't make you profit, right? If you're using too much gas to compound, right, it obviously wouldn't make sense for you to jump in the flexible strategy, right? So let's just go ahead and make a couple strategy here. Maybe that's the best way to do this, and I'll kind of jump into some of those features. In fact, one of the easiest ways, let me start here by kind of walking you through the easiest way to get from your farms into a flexible strategy, right? So what I'd recommend is before you do anything else, just go to your farms, right? Open up the regulation here, and basically just withdraw everything you have, right? So if you go ahead and take out, probably just go ahead and max it. We can just do that. So we're going to pull out of the US Dex farm. We're going to pull everything out of the DexShare BNB farm. And we are going to withdraw from the regulation, right? Okay, step one. So basically you're just going to get all of your assets out of the farms, out of the regulation, and into your wallet, right? You can double check right here. You'll also be able to see right here. So we've added in this little tool, right? This is your wallet here. And this is going to give you the percentages that are actually in your wallet when you withdraw, right? It's not going to read from the farms. That's why you got to pull it out, right? But once you withdraw it, right? So looks like all those went through. Yep, we got nothing in the farms anymore. Okay. And now that I'm on the flexible strategy, you'll see here's my wallet, right? And if I were to create an exact strategy of exactly what I had in the farms here, I would wind up with 57% in the US Dex farm, 20% in the DexShare BNB farm, and then 23% in the regulation, right? So for most of you, and this will also help in the community and the protocol in general, is if you're trying to if you just use the exact allocation you have now, right? All you have to do is set this for strategy, right? You'll notice this automatically just filled in my my allocations from my wallet, right? Then here you come down to take profit. Let's say we want to take 15% profit, right? Profit's just going to come off of every harvest. It's going to set it aside for you in the DEX ETF token, and the rest will be compounded back in. So you can choose between none and 30%. So if all this looks good, let's just go ahead and create it. Also, mind you, you're welcome to change these allocations if you'd like to kind of move around, get a little more balanced. This is a good time to do it too. And then real easily, we just go ahead and create this strategy. And what this is doing for you now is this is actually building you your own strategy contract that you now own. Okay, so for that you're just paying the gas, right? Our interface here is actually creating the strategy for you here, and you'll see it below, right? So now you have the strategy we just created with, these allocations, right? And profit. We have a zero. We have nothing to harvest because we have nothing invested right now, right? Strategy is going to yield about 0.44% daily, right? I'm going to go ahead and approve all these. Is that one of us, guys? Maybe get muted. What are we done? No? Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep approving here. Okay, so I guess while I'm doing this, we can explain the way we deposit, right? So, and this is going to be the same for both flexible and the fixed strategies, right? There's two different methods of depositing. You can deposit your existing token. Katie, can we figure out who's
Yeah,
who's
it's
unmuted
the
there, buddy?
storm. If you could mute yourself real quick, picking up some feedback.
I think you can mute him too, buddy.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, mate.
Okay, we're back. One more to go. All right, so again, two different methods of depositing, right? So you'll notice that I guess let's do the multi-asset, right? So this is the multi-asset. This is our depositing our existing tokens, right? What's real easy is I actually changed these allocations, right? But if you would have just set this strategy, right? If you would have just used your existing allocations, literally all you would have to do is approve those, slide it to 100, and then deposit, and you would have 100% of your current allocations deposited into the strategies with literally the click of one button outside of creating the strategy contract and approving the assets. You'll notice here that these allocations here these are basically the dollar amounts of these allocations, right? So essentially, I change these allocations, right? So I'm going to be capped at whatever the highest allocation is, right? They all need to go in together at the same amount. But luckily I have some extras, right? So I can decide to choose how much of my total I want to deposit, right? So for example's sake, I am going to do something like this. It's 3, 6. Okay. Okay. So I'm just go ahead and deposit this, right? So this is all the assets I'm trying to put in. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. And just like that, I now have a $7,000 strategy, right? With a 15% take profit. So you'll see down here, there's these tabs now that we're in, right? I guess also worth noting too is once you deposit these, before we move on, once you deposit, let's say your ratios were off a little bit, and you still have some funds left over after you've multi-deposited. You can also come back here and deposit just in USDC, BNB, any of the native tokens, or you can even throw in your additional tokens as well, right? So let's say I wanted to throw in another 2 more dexShare BNB LPs, right? That's just going to break those up for you and throw them all in the strategy as well. We just upped our strategy. Okay, so down below here you're going to see a couple different options, right? Profit is obviously a nice one. There's a withdrawal option if you want to ever take your money out, as well as an edit button, edit section, right? So I guess let's work backwards, and we'll get to the juicy stuff in a second. The edit section. This is if you wanted to change your allocations, change your take profit. You can literally just change your sliders, make sure it all equals 100%, right? Let's say I wanted to add a little more, take a little off, right? You can just go ahead and once you update it, it's going to literally just change all these allocations for you, change your take profits, and it's going to reinvest all your money into the new strategy. Obviously, withdraw, pretty self-explanatory. You'll see here are your receipt tokens that you're getting for the deposit, right? This is the total value, which is my investment number, and you go ahead and withdraw in any of our native tokens plus BNB, wrap BNB, and USDC. And of course, you don't have to take it all out. You're welcome to just take a little bit, take a lot, whatever you're fancy. All right, now to the good stuff, right? So I mentioned before about the minimum to get into a flexible strategy, right? So you can see down here, right, that we have a guideline here for you. At the current moment, right now, the minimum for investing in the well, I shouldn't say minimum for investing. The minimum to trigger the auto harvesting, which is once daily, comes out to $10,429, right? This is a dynamic number. It can change as the prices and APRs move, right? As DexShare rises, as your rewards are growing, you're going to be making more rewards, right? So it won't be eating into the gas fees won't be eating into your profits, right? The way we get this number is essentially this is the number where your APY officially exceeds the daily APR, right? So at 10,400, see, it just changed to $25 now. You're now in the money. You're now making profit, right? Some of you may not have this 10,000, right? But you may have 8,000, like I have here, right? So what you can do is rather than have it auto harvest every once daily, right? You can go ahead and deposit this, set your take profits, and you can manually harvest this, let's say once every week, right? Until you wind up breaking that threshold, right? Like I said, this manual harvest is basically exactly the same as what will happen as if we auto harvested for you, and all it's going to do is take your rewards here, right? So this is you're obviously you're already seeing we're up 5 cents since I created this, and that's just going to manually harvest it for you. Just going to continue to reinvest your profits. We already got some profit here too. So let's say I'm at 8,000 and I'm harvesting, or you want to put some more money in, right? We can always go back here. Let's say we want to invest a little more, and this time we want to get over that $10,000 mark. So we can go ahead and deposit that. We're going to deposit a little bit more this time. This should get us over the hump. Here we go. All right, so now we're invested 12,000 into this strategy. This a refresh here, actually. Quick note as well, you'll notice when I reinvested here, my profit and my harvest went away. This works just like the regular farms. Every time you deposit or withdraw, your harvest and your profit are automatically going to be claimed for you and reinvested, right? But you'll notice a couple little differences now. See, now that we've hit this threshold, right? What we have is our harvest, our auto harvest toggle here is now toggled on, right? Like I said, as soon as you hit this mark, we're going to automatically start harvesting for you once daily. And you'll also notice our next take profit claim is going to be, again, once daily, so almost in 24 hours now. One thing to note, you can always turn this off if you'd like, right? You're going to have to write it to the blockchain that you want it off. But once you hit this number, you are allowed to turn it on, turn it off, right? So, you may want to stack it up even more before you turn it on. That's completely up to you. But this is the exact number where you'll be making more money by harvesting daily than you would if you just let it sit there, right? Quick note as well. This take profit claim, right? So this once daily, you're gonna see. Excuse me. You're gonna see your take profit numbers and your harvest numbers coming up. Essentially, your take profit plus your harvest number is going to equal your daily APR. So these numbers get basically added up together, right? They're separate numbers. Once a day, you will see those numbers roll over, and anything that was in the profit will come down here, which will be available to claim. You don't have to claim it. You can let it sit there for a week at a time, month, a year, whatever. It'll just keep rolling over, and you can go claim it anytime. Okay, so all that being said, makes sense so far.
Yeah.
Again, not everyone might be ready for this. Like I said, it's completely up to you guys. But we wanted to make it available to everybody, and so we did. Now, just because you have hit the 10, this minimum investment to auto harvest, it might not necessarily make sense for you, right? Like this number is the exact moment when you technically will be profitable by harvesting every day, compared to if you never harvested at all, right? Obviously, most of you guys are harvesting all the time, right? So it may make more sense for you to move into the the fixed strategies until you get past a certain level where you're ready to jump into those, right? So let's go into that. Literally the same thing, except you just don't have to take profit. You can go ahead and pick conservative, balanced, aggressive, right? We always recommend a more balanced approach, right? So same thing here, right? I can still select however much I want. You go ahead and invest in with a single asset, right? Do I have to approve that or what? Some transactions backed up. See what I just did there. All right, well, let's say we want to jump in with a couple thousand here. Maybe that was just the approval. No, I went in. Yeah, so there's my $8. We're gonna wait for one more. Cool. And we can see the TVL for each one. This is really awesome, guys. I like that we're all aping into the balance. This is good stuff. Some of you degens out there are still for the aggressive. But you'll notice like the difference between daily is pretty marginal, and you get a lot more investment security with the balance. So again, we don't like to push people into anything, but the recommendation is always balanced. Same situation here, except this one you only have two tabs: it's a deposit and a withdraw. Simple enough, right? Like I said, withdrawals are going to be the same thing, right? You can go ahead and select how much you want to take out, right? So if I take out one of these money market BAL strats, money market balance strategy tokens, which are your receipt tokens, you'll see one of these tokens here is equivalent of $317 in USDC. So you can go ahead and withdraw that. It's just going to give you straight USDC. Look at this, I'm already harvesting. Same situation again. You're gonna when I withdraw, it's gonna roll over, right? And again, you're always welcome to add to your position. The difference here between the fixed strategies and the flexible strategies, obviously, aside from the take profit features, is that the fixed strategies these things are going to compound like crazy, guys. Guaranteed to compound every 4 hours on an automation, and then also every time someone deposits or withdraws, right? So when I just withdrew right there, I just compounded. I used my gas to compound for everyone else in the strategy. So this is going to get lucrative very quickly. Like I said, if you're really jonesing for the flexible strategies, you're welcome to hop in and get that started. But honestly, you could just jump in here and keep compounding until you're ready for it.
We might have something in the future, right, where people might be able to crowdsource flexible strats to save on gas fees, and so there might be a way for people to kind of get into custom strategies that fall outside of the aggressive, balanced, and conservative hierarchy.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool things coming up. The whole team is really excited about this, and we can I'm going to jump into some of the kind of future laid plans. But yeah, we're not stopping at this point. We have a lot of things are actually already kind of started in terms of V2, V3 versions of the strategies. And yeah, like Jade had said, everyone will have an opportunity to get into a flexible strategy. We're working on, like I said, something where we can essentially save some gas for everybody, but that'll be a little down the road. But the important thing to remember here is the fixed are really good options. They're gonna be the most profitable, just because they're compounding like crazy. The flexible strats, if it's in your if it's in your budget, jump in. But like Jade had mentioned, once we, as we're releasing new things, we are going to make it accessible for everyone to migrate, right? Like, so in this, in our flexible strategies here, right, we can edit and move, right? In the very near future, we will, once we come out with some of these updates, we will have an option to move in and out of the fixed strategies as well, into the different options at that time. So
another thing that I just wanted to bring up is maybe just a quick PSA thing. With for example, the money market balance strategy token, receipt token, can investors send those compared to, let's say, the flexible strategy token, right? So what I'm saying, I guess, is with the flexible strategy token, you have a receipt token that represents what your investment is in your strategy. You cannot send those to other wallets because you have a custom contract that's designed specifically for you to use. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, dexCEO, but I think with the fixed strategies, you could send the receipt tokens.
Yeah, that's accurate. To be honest, it's probably not recommended to send them anywhere. I think, you can get it. You could potentially move the fixed tokens, because like Jade mentioned, this is 3 individual contracts. So if you pull those tokens up on another another wallet associated with the app, you'll see them. But like Jada mentioned, there's the flexible ones. These are your own contract. It's associated with this wallet, with this app, and we, as you guys know, we're being pretty protective of this tech. So the contracts aren't verified. The audit is live now. You can check that out. Super safe and secure, but we're really just trying to protect our first mover advantage, because this is really a unique product, we feel. So realistically, the only way to access your contract that we're making for you here is through the app, which means if you send them somewhere, you won't even be able to use them through the contract. You can always send them back and it'll work. I tried that. All right, cool. So I guess let's why don't I just kind of give you a short rundown of kind of what we're thinking next, and then maybe we'll just open it up for questions. As I mentioned, we have a couple new features that we'd like to introduce right away. That we're not gonna go into in too much specifics, just because, like I said, we're trying to keep some anonymity in our development strategy here. But again, some really cool features coming up. And like I said, we're all just really proud of this. There's really no other product like it on the market. That we spent so much time on not only making sure that it's fast and it's all dynamic, and it creates zero volatility. In fact, we're up right now a little bit. I'm looking at the U.S. DEX. All of them. I mean, right? Like, the U.S. DEX is still right in a straight line, a little bit up from when we launched this. DEX shares is pumping a little bit. So that was one of the major challenges. We're just going to continue to add to it. So realistically, the next big thing we're trying to do is, refactor this for a pro version, make it available to other projects. We feel we have a huge advantage now. Everything is just so smooth that projects can come on, and as long as they fit our criteria, we can build these. We can kind of pump out these custom strategies for them, give them interface, and I think we have a pretty good shot of taking on some of the major players in the field. So you'll also start seeing the ETF Pro integrations. Talk about that a little bit, but that's really our push now. We feel really great that this piece is out for our community. This was a huge milestone, not only just in time and effort for development, but just really exciting that we are kind of officially on our way to building those real yields now. Like the last step to complete the money market circle. And now that we've kind of showcased what we can do, we can go out and really start offering this as a sellable product. So I guess with that said, let's jump into questions. Anyone got anything they'd like to share? Okay, we got some in the chats maybe. Looks like Jada's already answering some. Maybe start at the beginning. Have you been watching this chat at all, Jada?
Yeah. So do rebalances happen on every compound? During rebalances, if there is a larger pump and dump and all rewards have been applied to the lowest vaults and more is needed, is there any limit to the amount of higher value token that will be sold to achieve balance? From Trent C77.
Yeah, so I've seen some comments in the general chat about this too. Let's definitely clear that up. The vaults don't actually. It's not quite. Well, I mean, it is actually similar to the ETF in that it's basically using what's available to try to keep those allocations. It's not gonna take your LPs out and break them. It'll just keep allocating your rewards to where it's needed.
Which is really cool for those of you that are used to moving little bits of your funds over to, like, let's say the stable farm. If you have an allocation that's say 50, 25, 25, and you create it with DexShare at its current prices, and we see DexShare go up to say $500, you'll be automatically moving your profits into your stable farm through the rebalancing of the auto compounding strategies. So it's kind of securing profits for you while you're sleeping, essentially.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm sure now that these are out, we're gonna have a whole bunch of detailed analysis from guys like Sevic and Mike Dre. I know they've already been doing a bang up job, just putting out a lot of analytic data for you. I'm sure we will get the full report ongoing. I know we've already talked about kind of doing some ongoing comparisons to kind of give people a better idea of how things are performing. So I'm sure you'll see a lot of that. Let's kind of go through these. So is harvest the button to click to compound a personal strat, or is it just related to product? So yes, so on the auto harvest, you'll notice that your take profit, both the take profit and the harvest numbers go up continually. On that 24-hour mark is when you will be able to claim your profit. Basically the manual harvest button does that for you.
For Frodo, can we utilize multiple strategies? Yes. So you can have you could put aside different amounts of money and then divvy that up into different strategies. You can have multiple flexible strategies. You could be in some fixed strategies, as well as just in the regular money market farms, manually doing it as you're doing it right now, as well as having a flexible strategy of your own to shave profits into. You can truly customize this system to automate and operate to your exact specification.
That is true for sure. Although I would also, I mean, you guys can go nuts. So you're not gonna break anything. However, I'll just suggest, sometimes it's better not to overcomplicate things. Especially if you're in a flexible strategy. The more money you have in a flexible strategy, the better off you're going to be, because your gas fees are going to be used for the entire amount, right? So if you have, let's say you just barely cracked the $10,000 kind of minimum for auto harvest, and let's say you have two of those, right? You're still going to be using that $2 or $3 every time to harvest, whereas that same $2 or $3 could harvest to 20,000 if it was all together. And realistically, I mean, if you're doing A/B testing and stuff, go for it. But realistically, you don't really need to. You just can set the allocations to the combined allocation of both of them, right? But it is cool, so feel free to jump around. This one, auto harvest compound for you. That's correct. And the take profits do not go in your wallet. So, as I showed you before here, where's my take profits are, my take profits. So no, these are just going to pile in here. Like I said, they're always going to be there for you. You just go ahead and claim them whenever you want.
Nothing's going to happen to the farm's major epidemic. This is just an additional product that people can use to automate what their farms are doing. Aziz 264, you have a good amount of DexShare. What's the best way to enter without losing your total shares? So what you would do is you would choose the aggressive strategy, or if you have enough, you would do a flexible strategy. You would probably want to max out the share amount, but then have some dry powder put aside to pick up some US Dex. and to pick up some DexShare BNB LP, right? Because it's going to have a minimum 5% on each of them. That way, when you do zap in your assets, it's not going to touch your DexShare, right? As long as you make sure that you have that 5% of each accounted for.
Yeah, I mean, sure. If you you can always add dry powder. If you don't though, it's not the end of the world. You are like I said, you can always just zap right in here with your deck share. You'll lose 10% of it essentially.
Yeah.
Actually, not even 7.5%, right? Because 5% of it will go to 5% will be broken in half between BNB and DexShare, right? So, not the end of the world. But like Jada said, you could, if you want, like I said, nothing's required. You're not required to jump into these anytime, right? So you could just keep keep compounding into one of the others. Keep, take your wherever they're at, your regulation, take your ETFs, and just start buying some of the LPs or before you jump in. Okay, so gas fees. Oh no, so you don't you don't need to have any BNB once you're in the initial creation of the strategy. It's like super cheap. It's like a normal like a normal transaction, like 20 cents or something like that. The auto harvest fees for the flexible, we got it down to about, I think the last one was cheap, like $3, but that just comes off of off your rewards. That's why we have the kind of the guidelines there, the $10,000 mark right now, because it's just taking that off your rewards. That comes out of the harvest. So you don't have to keep anything in any BNB in your wallet. It'll just automatically come from there. In the fixed strats, cost nothing essentially. I mean, there's a slight harvest fee, but basically, like I said, every time someone jumps in or out, they pay the gas to compound, and the every 4 hours that we fired off on the automation, it's like it just comes out of the communal harvest fees. So mental, we haven't done anything as far as fees yet. We probably will institute something. We're not trying to crush anybody. Like a 0.5, 0.5%, and deposit withdrawal type of fee, just to kind of incentivize people to use the strategies because it's better for everyone, but nothing crazy. Okay, Trent. Let's see here, splitting between aggressive and balanced to the point I lose. As close to, that was already answered. You're very welcome, Aziz. I think a lot, to be honest. As far as projects joining up, Jada and I were just talking about this. Like, a lot of people, a lot of projects get on these auto compounders almost for the notoriety, exposure, I should say. And a lot of projects are on multiple auto compounders. We chose not to get on any of them because there's some obvious concerns with putting sell pressure on the share tokens, and also we knew we were doing this, so we didn't get on any. But we think that people that are using the auto compounders should have no reason not to be in, not to jump on board. So we're expecting really good results for sure. Yep, mental's got the right picture. Like I said, honestly, I mean, like I said, all the testing and time went into this. Not only is it's just a better product, it's really, it works, but, interface is really awesome, flawless, works remarkably well. Um, like I said, this is just the V1. We're, the next release here. We're talking about adding in, performance metrics, right? So you can kind of see where your investment's going, where it's been, that kind of stuff. Our next roadmap items, I guess, is obviously, the dex swap, our own dex that we're talking about, but the dexfolio, right, which is going to tie into this really, really heavily. And like none of these other, auto compounders have any of that. So, yeah, we feel really good about that.
Yeah. Is making sure that our auto compounder stands tall amongst any of the competition. Even just when looking at some of these auto compounding websites that have singular, well, they all are singular for the most part, auto compounding farms. So let's say an auto compounder that would simply auto compound our BNB deck share farm. All the competition that I've seen out there, they don't have additional analytics. How's your performance? How's your performance since you first deposited to now? These are all things that we can definitely build into the functionality here, and we can also add more functionality in terms of not having to have a project utilize it in a seniorage model, auto compounding, all their LP farms. We can also offer singular LP farms or dual LP farms and make something that works and is tailored specifically to whatever project we're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, we, technically we don't need permission from anyone to, they just interact with contracts on the blockchain. So, when we go live with the pro version, we'll have several lined up, but we'll most likely just add some nice blue chip vaults for you guys. Maybe even blue chip type of vaults where you can earn profits you still would take profits in index in like dex ETF or our tokens, right? One other also bonus, in terms of some of the fees that we have here. We added a very small deposit fee. It's 0.3%, which is essentially the same as the fee when you use PancakeSwap or any exchange fees, right? They're really small. But this deposit fee is specifically paid in US DEX, right? So you don't have to have it in your wallet, but when anyone deposits into any strategy, flexible, fixed, whatever, we're taking that 0.3% fee, and we're basically zapping it into US DEX token, and that's getting sent right back to the treasury, which is constantly going to be constantly removing, US DEX out of circulation, and that's definitely going to stay. That's definitely going to stay on, as we branch out, right? So, all of these things are going to keep adding up for, circulation removal of our native tokens, as well as just adding up fees for the treasury and ultimately back to shareholders. I think I saw that one here. Just to clarify this one, technically, no, we're going to always keep the fixed strategies how they are. It makes sense to have the fixed strategies because some people don't necessarily want to take profit, and the fixed strategies are always going to be more efficient than the flexibles just because there's more people in it, so you're sharing the gas costs with everybody in. But like Jay had mentioned earlier, we do have a new feature that will. I don't want to get too far into it, like I said, because we're trying to keep first mover advantage on some of this stuff for anyone who might be trying to race us to market here. So, but yes, you will very soon have an option to migrate from a fixed strategy to a essentially would be a shared flexible, and we'll go into a little more about that later.
That was for the person asking if we would be able to add a take profit function to our fixed strategies in a future release.
Oh,
Good. I think
yeah.
it's good to read out some of these questions for those who might just be listening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, essentially, what we could have like a community fix, right, where you wouldn't be able to adjust those numbers, but it would allow you to at least have that option. This one, as far as expecting volatility from people moving between farms and strategies, no, actually, we're not really expecting much volatility at all. We did a lot of testing on this, and in fact, that was part of the delay was our first test did actually create quite a bit of volatility, but we tweaked a few things. Let me see what our volume is right now. We looks like we did like over since we've been on this call, maybe 200,000, maybe more, $300,000 maybe in volume, and literally the price hasn't moved a single penny. If anything, a little bit positive direction, but now we essentially what happens now is we built in some additional mechanics that kind of simulate the price action before it's going to happen, and then it only transacts exactly what's needed. So you're seeing more volume, but unless there's like massive swings with people trying to change their allocations, which I don't think is going to be too much the case, outside of maybe a little bit here and there, trying to make sure they get into some of the minimum, the 5% minimum on each pool. But no, yeah, we think we're okay there.
Yes. Mental asks, is it safe to assume when entering the fixed strategy, we are now holding a receipt token that is appreciating itself like a wrapped token or the money market ETF token? This adds some simplicity to US taxes. So he's got a good point where in the US, if your token amounts are changing and you're claiming and harvesting, that this has tax implications and you might be paying taxes or resetting your capital gains tax timer. With this system,
Yeah,
if you're a US resident and you're just sitting in our strategies, and that should simplify a lot of that when it comes to taxes. Because it
yeah. I mean,
only. Sorry, go on.
our official stance is that we're not tax attorneys, we're not accountants. So
Yeah,
we're not going to give you any. We don't have any official advice counseling on that. But yes, it does work as a wrap token when you deposit. As long if you deposit one time here, your synthetic receipt token does not change in value. I'm sorry, does not the quantity does not change. Just the value would, yes. To answer your question, but yeah, it may have some advantages that we've considered. Right, of course.
We can only see the total amount invested, but we can't see the breakdown of it in the tokens. So this is something that we would definitely be updating in a version 2 Coffee Lake, where when you're depositing your existing funds, like you can see on screen right now, obviously you can see the breakdown as you're putting it in, but then our harvest number is just an additive of all of your farms put together. We'll definitely go ahead and work on making an update to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's actually already in the works. Like I said, we had to kind of pick and choose what we needed, what was important. We spent a lot of time just making sure it was not only right and it was fast and it didn't create volatility, but also that it was accessible for everyone. And there's some really cool features that seem probably really simple with this UI because it's pretty slick, but on the back end, very very complex stuff that's happening. A lot of math. Our quant was working overtime, making sure all the formulas were right. honestly, if you once you guys get in, you can look at one of your transactions, and it's a lot. There's a lot happening on every transaction. So, um, but that being said, yeah, we like I said, we do have some very near future plans to um, add, like I said, performance metrics and your deposit withdrawal history and token allocation breakdowns and stuff like that. So.
Are fixed strategies always more fee efficient, or after a certain dollar amount, the differences in the fees between fixed and flexible is negligible?
So we kind of covered that in the beginning. I can let me go back to this right here. So um, again, this there's and also guys, we put these little tooltips all around here, right? So if you don't have if you're looking for more information, just hover over these, right? So again, this $10,000 right now, you see it's adjusting, right? So when we started, it was 10 10 4 450 or something like that. Um, like I said, this number is the exact amount that your APY here exceeds the daily APR, right? So, um, and again, the very first thing I did was deposit less than this amount, so you could see that your auto harvest was not enabled, right? It was only the only option here would be to manually harvest. This only becomes available or activated, I guess, when you have exceeded this amount, right? So to be specific, right? Like it's impossible to be negligible, right? Um, because we won't allow you to auto harvest if it's not going to be profitable, right? Um, but like I said, that being said, it still may be more efficient if you just have $10,430, not 429.9, right? It still may make more sense for you to just go in a balance strategy or one of the fixed strategies, because those are obviously going to compound a lot more, right? And then once you're ready, you could always move over. See here. So you want to take profit for a fixed strategy. Sounds like you would need to withdraw part of your receipt token. No. So go back to it again. So that's not it. So as I mentioned, your take profit and your harvest are two different numbers. Your take profit plus your harvest number is going to equal your daily APR percentage, right? So this plus this divided by this number is going to be this number after 24 hours, right? When this was, let's see, was this question about? Yeah. So once you hit the automated, right? Once you get to this auto harvest phase, every 24 hours, right? You're going to what happened to did I turn it off? What happened there? Every 24 hours, you're going to let's see, we go over that too. So every 4 hours, you're going to see your profit here, right? Actually, might as well go over this right now. So you'll notice I actually redeposited, right? So what that did was it cleared it like just like I said, just like the regular farms, right? It claimed everything I had and ran that harvest for me. I did that manually, right? And you'll see my 2 cents worth of profit got sent here. You'll also notice this little green check mark, this little green dot that that'll indicate that you actually have some ETF to claim now as profit. Makes sense. What else we got? Oops. Question, our fixed strategies. Oh, that we got that one, I think, too. I think that was the one we just answered. We all caught up. Any more questions here before we sign off? I guess we'll give it another minute. Looks like we're hopping in. We got our TVL. Like I said, to go back to the volatility question. Looks like our TVL in the vaults is up to almost 300K with like no volatility. Yeah, looks like this was things are running smoothly so far. So we got a few more people talking here. Yep. Easy as pie. We really appreciate all the kind words, man. All you guys. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. We are, like I said, we're all really excited about this. So, yes, 100%. Thank you, devs. Like I said, we couldn't have done it without the whole team here. And that honestly extends to, our internal, our external, all of our, our moderators here. You guys are just been an amazing community. Everyone's, seems to be really behind this, and we just thank you guys all for all your support and participation, and makes it easier to keep doing what we're doing. Special thanks to our amazing sticker girl who creates these ridiculously awesome stickers for us as well. Well, outside of all the rocket emojis and thumbs up, I guess we can probably cut it here. We can throw those in the main chats. Like I said, we'll be updating you guys frequently. I guess another quick thing I'll touch on too is, we definitely have been kind of waiting for these to come out. But now that they are, we're definitely going to go pretty hard on another round 2 of marketing. We'll give it a few days for the the kind of the dust to settle. I'll be honest, I'm taking off tomorrow. I'm taking a couple days. It's been a long trip, a long journey. But come Monday, Tuesday, we're all going to get back to work. I think the dev team, the whole team needs a little time off. But come this week, we're gonna pick up the circuit of AMAs. Not only with us, in this group, but other channels, other servers. We have several more influencers already lined up to kind of do some recaps and reviews of the new products, and we're just gonna keep grinding. So we just really appreciate y'all. Jay, did you get anything else? Leave it here.
Just want to thank everyone for making the time to come and join us for this AMA, and for also just being so patient. It's been a bit of a meme with the when strategies, but that's also our fault for putting out some real early ETAs. But things happen. It was good that we ended up pushing it back as much as we did. Everybody, we caught some things that we would not have wanted to release it and not have addressed prior to releasing it. So now everything's great. Audits, flying colors. thanks everyone for waiting, and it's time to auto compound, man. No more manually going in and clicking every day. You guys are the first people in the world to see and utilize the dopest auto compounding system on the market.
Yeah, very cool, guys. Well, like I said, we'll be in the chats, man. Feel free to hit us up. You know, anyone that's got questions, like I said, we'll be continuing to add, more information. The dex ed is coming very soon as well. But any questions, feel free to reach out, and we really appreciate it.
Now that the strats are out, I personally can't stress this enough. Get out there, man. Let people know. Let people know. If you know of people who are in other protocols that also use auto compounders, let them know what's up. If you're in a project that uses auto compounders that you think can benefit from our system, let them know what's up. Put them in contact with me.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I'm already in
Share
talks with
those.
some people. Nothing to announce quite yet, but things are rolling, guys. It's just a matter of
Snap,
getting the name out there, getting our products out there.
snap those screenshots. Put those all
Yep.
over Twitter. All over Twitter. Drop a sticker in another server with a
So check
screenshot.
check out how much I'm making automatically on the dopest fucking auto compounder on the market. Tweet that.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome, man. It all helps for sure.
All right.
Wow.
Thanks
Wonderful.
everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.